Welcome to the Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast, your weekly dose of strategies and mindset tools to build a business in alignment with your purpose and to get you playing a bigger game. I'm your host, Nicole.
Hello, and welcome to the Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and we are at the end of the year, people. 2022 is coming to a close, and 2023 is rearing its little head. It's poking up, it's crowning. We can see it. We can see the head. Get the forceps. She's coming out. I want to talk about word of the year. Now, this is something we did last year on the show. You can go back and listen to last year's episode as well. This year, I'm going to talk about my word of the year, but I really want to talk about word of the year versus setting goals and how they're different, and why I like word of the year, because the word of the year, goals should be things that you're always working on. I have a different kind of perspective on goal setting specifically. And I really like it to be rooted in something more specific. So let me broaden this conversation out and break this down a little bit. So, word of the year versus like setting goals and things like resolutions. So why I like word of the year better is that goals and resolutions usually have to do with doing something. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to get this thing. I'm going to make this happen. And that's actually sort of backwards, because we're coming at it from just a purely action-oriented standpoint. And we're not thinking about what we're bringing to that action or what we're bringing to that goal. And it actually can almost feel a little disempowering when you set a goal and the goal feels really big and you feel like, I don't know if I can get there. The limiting beliefs can start to creep in, and that can happen on a really subconscious and unconscious level, which is that goals, you set a big goal and then your brain starts to say, you can't have that, or that's going to mean that that's going to take a lot of time, or you're going to have to hire some team members. And oh my God, what's that going to mean for our bottom line? Can we afford that? And what I'd like to get to is a spot, and this is what word of the year does. Word of the year is about, it's a theme. It either is a way of being, or it's very easy to get to a way of being. And when you choose your word, I want you to look at it and be like, is it a state that I plan to be in for the whole year? Is this a state that I want to achieve? Or is this or can I derive a state from it? Okay. So a word of the year has to do with, is very closely tied to like a way of being. Who am I going to be this year? So, and the way that you can come up with it, and the way that I came up with mine, and the way that I approach this is, I look at it and I say, like, what is required of me? I look at this past year and I think about, like, what went right, what didn't, what do I want to carry into 2023? And what would I like to leave right here? What could have gone better? What can I improve on? And what shifts need to happen internally in me in order for me to make these external changes possible? What shifts need to occur on the inside in order for me to make these things a reality in my physical reality? And so my word of this year is simplicity. Now, when I looked back and I looked at this year, and I got very good at this. I kind of started to play with this concept and start to work on embodying it, because that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about embodiment. We're not talking about just a goal that we have written somewhere and it makes us run. We're talking about a way of being. If I can focus on this one thing, if I say this is really important, in order for me to be the person that I want to be, who has the things that I want to have, the being comes first. And if I have that word in my head on like places where I can see it, I'm reminded of it. If I just have this word as a theme throughout, then I'm contemplating it. And as I contemplating it, I'm planting a seed. And when I plant that seed, then it starts to germinate, and I start to water it with thought, and I start to play with it, and I'm tending to it. And then suddenly this is what embodiment is allowing something to be planted inside of us and to bloom, and for us to eventually become it. And that is what the work is about. And all the healing work is to get rid of all the beliefs, emotional attachments, unconscious feelings and connections that we have to things that don't serve us, to clear all of that out so that we have nothing but fertile land for the good things we're planting to grow. That's what it's about. So I look at it and I say, what has to go? What do I want to create? What do I want this garden to look like? And then what's the one theme that I have to embody? What's the next thing I'm stepping into? And for me, it was simplicity. And when I looked at this past year and I looked at 2022, I started to work with simplicity, and I've simplified a lot of things in my business. But when I looked at like the beginning of the year, it was not simple. It was not simple. And that came from a lot of legacy stuff of things people told me to do. This is the way, and this is how you should do it. And my not self said, okay, it's working for you. You're making all of this money. So, okay, I'll do it. I want to make that money. It didn't come from a pure place when I said yes to those things. And I started to change the way I operated to fit the way someone else did something. And I'll say that this year I really sunk into, I make decisions from my authority. I make decisions through my strategy and my authority. And I did so much deconditioning that the not self was no longer leading me. That voice just all but disappeared. I'm not saying it doesn't pop up here and there, but I see it immediately. And I just go, yeah, no, thanks. We're good here. You're not taking me down that. You can keep your 100K month posts. And I just scroll right past them. I don't get sucked into those things anymore. And to someone's strategy that worked for them, or supposedly worked for those people. And I'm no longer living that way, but it caused a lot of chaos and I had to unwind that. And this year was unwinding all of that, being like, okay, I'm going to stop doing that. And I'm going to start doing what feels good. And I'm in a really good place with that. And I was like, this is the next step. The next step is to really embody simplicity. And so is simplicity a state? Is simplicity a state? Because that's what you want to do. You want to break it down and you want to go into like, what's the state that I need to be in? So simplicity is the theme. So the way that this works, I'm going to look at simplicity throughout the year. Things are going to come to me. I'm going to get ideas about things. I'm a manifesting generator. So I'm going to get ideas about ideas and want to act on all of them. And I'm going to follow my strategy and authority. But I'm also going to have this contemplation on simplicity. And I'm also going to have this filter that I pass it through of saying, like, does this serve my greater theme and objective of simplifying things? I'd really like my business to be elegant. I really want there to be a level of, just like I've created a sense of grounding and clarity in my body and in my being and how good that feels. I want my business to feel like that through and through now. And I've taken a lot of steps to make sure that is like, I'm kicking that off from right now, not even waiting for 2023. But that's what the word does. It creates this overarching theme for the year that you get to measure and hold every decision up to and say, does this serve my greater theme? Or am I making an exception from a very purposeful place to say, no, but this is why it belongs. And I feel good about that because I'm following my own process into that choice. But for the most part, if it doesn't fit simplicity, I'm going to say no. I'm like, no, I don't think that that's correct. I don't think that that's best for my energy. And and I will say that simplifying has made me more money and has given me so much space in my calendar and in my life where I'm just showing up better for everyone, my clients, my family, me, everything. But now if I want to break down simplicity and look at it as a state, what state do I need to be in? What being who do I need to be to embody simplicity? Well, I need to be intentional. I feel like that's a big part of it. That there can't be, I'm not going to overthink. I'm not going to overcomplicate. I'm not going to do anything for the sake of doing it or be in action because I need to be moving or because I need to feel like I'm doing something. I'm not going to be carried into anything. I'm only going to step intentionally into things that simplify my business and make it more elegant and more powerful. That is the place that I'm coming from. So this process, I want you to, I would love to know what your word of the year is. Please share it with me. Share this on Instagram, take a little snapshot, share it on Instagram, tag me. I'm at Nicole Leno Official, and tell me what your word of the year is. I would love to know. And I hope that you see how this breaks down. Like, what's the theme? What do you want to see? It's 2020. It's the end of 2023. It's December 31st. You're standing there. You're going to say, like, what did I achieve? Where is my business now? And who am I now? And then how can you create a theme around that? Boil it down to one word, maybe two, if you have to, but one word that you're saying, like, this is the theme. This is the thing that I want everything to fall under. I want everything that I add to my business or every action I take in my business to get me closer and closer to simplifying everything and making everything more simple, yet more effective. Because that is what I found. The more simple I've made things, the more effective I have become and the things I do have become. So I hope you found this useful. Please share with me your word of the year on Instagram. And if you are looking for, we have a deconditioning guide, which is super fun to get out to you guys. It's if you're interested in deconditioning by human design, this is kind of the start of the work of what I call becoming unshakable. This is the day-to-day operations. This is the deep deconditioning stuff. This is the start of the deconditioning journey, which will show you where you might be most likely to fall off track, what that might look like, and how you can start to correct those things. So it's a really cool guide. You can go to nicoleleno.me/decondition. And you can download that guide there for free. And if you want to dive into your chart and you want to know more about your human design, you can go to my website, nicoleleno.me, and go to the work with me section, and you can book a human design reading with me. And if you're interested in, if you're ready, you're like, nope, I've been listening to the show for a long time. I know I want to dive into my design. I want to build my business by design. I want to start living my life by design. And I want to create offers and messaging and bring all of my authenticity to my business. And I want to do that in a way that's true and to my uniqueness. Then the Limitless Entrepreneur Program is for you. That is my 1-year group coaching program. We have a 6-month and a 1-year option you can join. That is where you get to work with me side by side. We build your business. We dive into how you can start to operate your business from a place of true authenticity and bring your uniqueness to the stage. So if you're interested in that, that's also at the work with me section on nicoleleno.me. Please go check those things out. I would love to talk to you. I would love to hear more about you. Let me know what you think of this episode over on Instagram at a DM. And remember, you are only limited by the limitations that you accept. When you stop accepting those limitations, that is when you become limitless. So go out there, be limitless, everyone, and Happy New Year. I will see you in 2023. Bye.
If you loved this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. And if you want to stay in touch with us, we would love to have you as a part of our Facebook community, Practical Manifestors. It's a community for process-driven women looking for clear and actionable steps to embodying a life of wealth and alignment. Join us at Practical Manifestors in Facebook or go to www.innerceogroup.com.